Now let's introduce Practicum 4, Communing with Land Spirits. This one won't be a guided reading. Instead, you'll take notes on the process and then go off to do it on your own. You're going to place the deck of cards between your dominant palm and the tree or a plant so you, the cards, and some part of the flora are all touching and connected. Take a meditative moment to focus on that connection, feel any out of the ordinary currents of life force that you intuit is not your own, and let that connection settle in. When you're ready, send through that connecting current of magnetic life force this inquiry to the tree. Tell me your story. Feel yourself sending that request, tell me your story, through your hand, through the cards, and out the other side, getting absorbed into the tree or the plant you're connecting with. Then, still keeping the connection, the bond with your free hand, you're going to reach into the deck and feel guided to pull out a card at random. Don't mimic what you see on the screen there. I'm just doing that because my other hand is holding the camera. Now note the card you pulled. This tarot reading technique can work for a location too. Seriously, like a mountain or near a lake. For a lake, no, you don't need to get your cards wet. One hand goes in the water, the other holds the deck, you become the conduit. In this sense, you're using tarot in feng shui. Embody a sense of being that lighthouse, sending out a beacon of light, your magnetic life force, and through that light, your inquiry, tell me your story, or change up the question. What can I do to help you? What do you need? Show me something you have seen. Communicate through the language of the tarot. The magnetic force field and synergy will power through the cards and bring to light the message. It's okay if you don't believe in tree spirits. This practicum isn't about believing, it's about questioning. I'm hoping the exercise will get you to start asking yourself more probative questions about the tarot. This is also about training you to start feeling that magnetic life force, which the Chinese call qi. Even if you don't call it qi, I reckon most of the folks watching this right now can intuit what I'm talking about because you've felt it before. The Ouroboros, or serpent swallowing its own tail, originates from Egyptian magic, but was folded into Greek and later Renaissance occult traditions. It's also iconic of Hermetic principles. In lemniscate or figure eight form, it symbolizes that collective magnetic force that an occultist taps into in order to take upon himself the powers of God, so to speak, and manipulate the forces of nature. Awakening the Kundalini in Eastern traditions is also symbolized by the serpent. Practicum number 4 is focused on training to strengthen your ability to tap into that channel of power. Ultimately, how you awaken the Kundalini. It's an externalized approach to learn how to wield greater control over that collective magnetic life force. Here's another thing I've come to realize. It doesn't actually matter if there really is a spirit in the tree, one with thoughts, feelings, and a unique personality just like you. Even if it's a moment of make believe, in that moment of wild imagination, you do and will develop a sense of wonder and attaching sentiment to the tree. Emotional bonds to the world around you breathes powerful magic. Finally, what I'm going to insist on, you're actually and legitimately improving your abilities to commune with the land spirits around you. Science has already proven to us that plants can release VOCs, volatile organic compounds, into the air to warn other plants around them of trouble. In fact, plants engage in regular conversations with each other, both airborne through ultrasound waves and underneath the ground through the soil. They even seem to have kin or a sense of family that they recognize through measured communications. There is so much more to the emotional life of flora than people or science acknowledge. I would assert that the witch is someone who intuitively and physiologically picks up on that, and therefore interprets distinct personalities out of plants, especially trees. For this exercise, I'm beginning with trees because I kind of feel like they have the most powerful, most perceivable personalities.
So, do I believe a tree or any plant life for that matter has a three-dimensional personality and soul, like me, you, Bob in sales at work, or Janet in accounting? I don't actually have a belief. I'm just around trees a lot and I can feel something from them. They have really different personalities, and yeah, maybe personality is the wrong word for it. When I go to prune their branches or water them or pick fruit or rake the fallen leaves, I do feel like if I try to be open and receptive, I can have almost like a moment with them. And then I found out that I can get clearer communication somehow through the tarot. Is it all in my head? Like I said, maybe. But I'm a more conscientious person toward nature now because of it. So maybe my wild imagination is for the best.
This is the final practicum in your coursework, Practicum 5, Through the Looking Glass. This is a visualization technique with the tarot that's going to help sharpen and enhance your divinatory results and bring greater accuracy by training your psychic mind. For Practicum 5, we'll be using the tarot to amplify your clairvoyance and clairaudience. It's going to integrate techniques in pathworking, some minimal, just a little bit, not full on true pathworking, but we do touch on pathworking-esque techniques. FYI, if you're interested in pathworking with a tarot beyond Practicum 5, you can use, obviously, any deck for this. But I'm going to recommend either the Rider-Waite-Smith or the Thoth Tarot. My reasoning for this is pathworking was, at least classically in Western occult traditions, about pathworking through the 10 Sephiroth of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. Aleister Crowley had crafted his deck specifically to the Kabbalah, or at least his interpretation and perception of Kabbalistic traditions. Why tarot and pathworking? To occultists, pathworking is mastering the highways of the spirit realms. It's traditionally one of the ways a practitioner can access these spirit realms through the mind. Purely in the realm of my opinion and preferences only, other modern occult tarot decks that could work for this exercise are the Tarot of the Holy Light by Christine Payne Towler, the Tabula Mundi Tarot by M.M. Moline, Kabbalistic Visions, illustrated by Luigi Scapini, or the Golden Dawn Ritual Tarot by Chick and Tabitha Cicero. You are by no means limited to these decks, but from this listing, I think you can get a pretty good sense of the style of deck I'm recommending for pathwork. Some of you tarot aficionados may be familiar with Tarot of the New Vision by Gianluca Sestaro and Pietro Aligo, published by Lo Scarabeo. So I'm bringing up the deck because it helps give you an idea of what I'm asking you to do here for this practicum. The premise for the Tarot of the New Vision is to turn 180 degrees in the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot card imagery and see what we don't otherwise see on the face of the card. In Tarot of the New Vision, a whole other scene is being imagined behind what we've always known to be the classic imagery of the RWS. So behind the Rider-Waite-Smith Justice card, for example, we see the Judgment of Solomon story played out of two women, both claiming to be the mother of a child, and we presume the crowned seated figure with his back turned to us is King Solomon. In Practicum 5, you'll be entering into the scene of a card in the tarot deck and using your creativity and imagination, roaming that scene in 3 dimensions, so being able to go all around that world and see panoramically. I like to say it's a little bit like a role-playing video game that takes place entirely in your head. A couple of tips to keep in mind when path working with the tarot. It's optimized and you're going to get the best results when you've induced an altered state of consciousness. Basically, get yourself to a meditative state that's well beyond your ordinary sense of conscious mind. And don't make this out to be any more complicated than it actually is. Remember Practicum 3. Recall that feeling and state of mind you were in during that guided session. You just need to go through that pomp and circumstance of ritual once, encode or program the memory of that feeling into your mind. And then when you do a tarot reading, recreate and induce that state. The second point is to not pressure yourself to get immediate results. This is just one of those things where the more you try to force the issue, the less likely it's going to work out for you. So be patient with yourself. If at first you don't succeed, try again. At the bare minimum, give this your best efforts 3 separate times and log your experiences. For Practicum 5, I'm going to guide you through the Ace of Pentacles, and we'll be using the Rider-Waite-Smith. The reason for using the RWS here in class is because I understand there are folks who don't like to or don't want to work with the Thoth, whereas the RWS tends to be more neutral. Also, while an advanced form of pathworking with the ace here might be to explore Keter, the crown Sephiroth of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, we won't be incorporating the Kabbalah for the guided training, and we certainly won't be skipping pathwork through the other Sephiroth and going straight to Keter. Also, again, this isn't full-on pathworking since I do consider that an advanced technique. I'm drawing upon some facets of pathwork to navigate you through a training exercise that's going to help with clairvoyance and clairaudience. The purpose for the guided demonstration with the Ace of Pentacles is to give you a sense of how to apply this technique to other cards in the future. Again, to reiterate, pathworking is considered an advanced esoteric practice. In terms of psychology, it's akin to hypnotherapy or trance and suggestion, which are all processes only to be performed by someone licensed and specially trained in such fields. Likewise, deepened state path work shouldn't be attempted unless you really know what you're doing or you're being supervised by a teacher who knows what he or she is doing. The guided version you're about to undertake doesn't go too deep, and my voice will be there in your ear to walk you in and out. In the next video, we'll begin Practicum 5, the pathworking exercise, and going through the looking glass. After you've gone through the guided video, you'll reach for your tarot deck and do a reading immediately after, so have your tarot deck on hand. The purpose of the guided video is just to get you to start thinking about how to pathwork through a tarot card. Let's go over some tips. Before you even start, once you've selected the card through which you will pathwork, consider the metaphysical correspondences of that card. Check the correspondence tables I've provided with your lesson materials. Consider the elemental basis of your card and which of the 4 Kabbalistic worlds your key leads to. If you work with archangels or the 72 Shem angels, combine techniques from Practica 1, 3, and 5 by petitioning for angel presence or pathworking to reach and commune with that angel. If you're working with one of the majors, note the corresponding Sephiroth paths or highways of the universe and soul you'll be traversing during your path work. This may take some preliminary study of the Kabbalah or Hermetic Kabbalah first, as we talked about in Module 4 before proceeding. The minors, too, will each correspond with one of the 10 Sephiroth. So that would be the Kabbalistic world through which you traverse for seeking answers embedded in that particular tarot card. To start, you'll want to enter through the imagery on the card you've chosen. This is why earlier I said it's kind of important which tarot deck you work with for this particular technique. A master occultist deck creator is going to have encoded the imagery in a specifically programmed way, conducive for this kind of pathworking. Once you've entered the world, stepped through the looking glass, you've entered a 3-dimensional world. Using your imagination and creativity to start, note what you see, hear, smell, how the world feels against your skin, and transform what was 2-dimensional to 3-dimensional within your mind's virtual reality. Locate a path or clearing in this world and then follow it. Navigate this world by taking cleared roads in the vision. Use your intuition as a compass and guide to determine characters in this world you may want to stop and talk to. When you stop to talk to characters in the cards, ask questions like, what is your message for me? Or what are your instructions for me? Or impart a request, one petitioned humbly and with sincere heart. I come seeking a token from you so that I can accomplish my great work, or so that I might better understand my life purpose. The guided journey through the Ace of Pentacles in the next video is me constructing that virtual reality for you with the purpose of getting you to encounter a spirit guide who will impart to you a blessed seed with which you'll be able to plant and grow a power that you need to not just amplify your clairvoyance and clairaudience in the tarot reading you'll do after the journeying, but is going to help break down any pre-existing barriers that have been blocking your path toward higher personal achievement. So we'll see how that goes. Now, in your notes, I'm still presuming that you're taking a bunch of notes. Jot down these suggested pointers for future path working through the tarot. You'll see them on the screen.